From acclaimed indie dramas to massive Marvel blockbusters, Mark Ruffalo has proven he can do it all. But that doesn't mean that he nails every scene on the first take, and we've got just a collection of hilarious bloopers to prove it. After a couple of false starts with Eric Bana and Edward Norton, Marvel finally found a credible Hulk in Mark Ruffalo. While he has yet to get a standalone movie, he's been a big green part of the Avengers films and has popped up in a number of Marvel Cinematic Universe entries. While Hulk is primarily the work of CGI, Ruffalo does the heavy lifting as the Dr. Jekyll to Hulk's Mr. Hyde, as gifted scientist Bruce Banner.
Your work on anti-electron collisions is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Maybe it's because we won't like him when he's angry, or maybe it's because the Hulk and Banner are two different entities at the end of the day. But whatever the reason, Ruffalo decided that Hulk wasn't going to stick around to Hulk smash this particular Avengers scene.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
This version, on the other hand, didn't make the cut.
Dude, you're on your own!
Like the rest of his fellow Avengers, and the majority of the actors who've taken on major roles in the MCU, Ruffalo has to cope with a certain amount of green screen acting, up to and including the hours he spent on set playing the Hulk via a motion capture rig that acts as the basis for the CGI-driven depiction of the big green guy that we see on screen. But Ruffalo has it a little easier than most, given that he doesn't often have to speak much while playing the Hulk. But that definitely isn't to say he hasn't faced some of his own dialogue challenges. These Avengers movies are, at their core, science fiction flicks, and he's playing the most prominent scientist around in them. That means it's up to Ruffalo to deliver lots of technical jargon and scientific word gumbo, and even an actor of Ruffalo's caliber has a tough time with it sometimes.
Pluripotent cells inside a xylo. Pluripotent cells into a xylon cycle.
So was the third time the charm?
Polysaccharide nanophyte.
The Avengers movies offer an embarrassment of riches when it comes to action stars. So much of their huge cast consists of established veterans within the genre, serving up the physical skills necessary to bring their superhero characters to life. Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, Jeremy Renner, and Chris Evans, among others, have all jumped, kicked, and punched their way through other movies. But not so much Ruffalo. Versed in theater, he's more of a words and face actor, which are vital when it comes to playing Bruce Banner, the human pre-anger iteration of the monstrous Hulk. That said, he seemed to have a hard time with the minor physical demands of his role in Thor Ragnarok. At least Thor's there to rescue him. Despite his many on-screen appearances as a superhero and starring in 3 enjoyably ridiculous movies about magicians, Now You See Me, The Brothers Bloom, and Now You See Me 2, Ruffalo is widely regarded as a serious actor. That's probably because his powerful work in affecting award-winning dramas like The Normal Heart and Spotlight overshadow the more frivolous, if financially successful, line items on his resume.
Mark, what's he get out of all this?
He maintains a quiet dignity and self-respect through all his work, so when a script requires him to say something kind of stupid, it's a real treat, both to hear Ruffalo get silly and to see how he pulls it off without looking bad. Well, it turns out he can't quite pull it off during a take on 13 Going on 30. This was his big moment.
You know what I wish I had right now?
No, what?
Razzles.
Razzles?
And this was his epic fail.
I could really use a razzle. I really need a razzle.
Ruffalo wasn't always an A-list superhero, and Reese Witherspoon wasn't always a frequently Oscar-nominated actress and behind-the-scenes boss of stuff like Big Little Lies. In 2005, Ruffalo and Witherspoon were both making a name for themselves with romantic comedies, particularly high-concept ones like Just Like Heaven. Witherspoon plays a doctor in a coma whose spirit leaves her body to go haunt her apartment, where an affable landscape architect, played by Ruffalo, has taken residence.
We need to talk.
About what?
Has it crossed your mind that there might be something a little off about the way you've been spending your days?
Eventually, Witherspoon gets better and they magically live happily ever after, but in this outtake, Ruffalo comes on a little too strong with his leading lady. Here was his best take.
Has anything dramatic happened to you recently?
Like what?
I don't know, like dying maybe?
How dare you say that to me?
And here was his worst.
Do you remember anything like dramatic happening to you recently?
Like what?
I don't know, like dying maybe?
While filming another scene from the movie, Ruffalo seemingly couldn't resist delivering this improvised quip to his scantily clad scene partner when his very mid-2000s cell phone started ringing.
What's your phone ringing?
Sorry?
No, I'm just happy to see you.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.